Welcome to Rom Wills Money Matters. Create a business to fulfill a need. Now, I know that might sound obvious and, intuitive and smart, but believe it or not, a lot of times people might start a business because they like it personally and they interested in it. It's something they good at, but it don't necessarily fulfill a need. See, understand something. When people use a service or they buy a product, it's because they need it. They're going to use it, right? Let me give an example. I've known of some people who made a good living, made some money, and all they were selling was oils, body oils, right? And like plenty of people, but that's a need. That's a need because people, they need to mate. They need to feel good. What does body oil do? Smells good, draws a mate to you, makes them feel good, right? That's a need. Now, it might seem small, but every person I've known, and it's mostly like vendors and stuff, every person I've known to do that, they always get steady customers, right? They fulfilling a need. Or, I've known some people who would make soaps. Some women, especially, who would make soaps, and I think I'm encountered some men who made soaps as well. That's a need. People need to wash the ass, or people who might have I've known several people who've had restaurants and everything. Indeed, it wasn't until this whole COVID recession that their businesses, they had to close down their businesses, but they were making money like right away. Why? People need to eat. People need to eat. When you do business, yeah, of course there's some things you like to do. There's some things you probably good at. But when we're talking about a business, you got to think in terms of, what do people need? What are they interested in? What are they willing to buy, not just once, but especially what kind of service would they constantly get? You want to fulfill a need, that a need doesn't go away. Not necessarily a want. There's a difference between the two. Like a want, that could be what in the retail industry we would call tchotchke gifts. Like during Christmas, they'll have just some weird stuff, right? But people want a gift, right? They want to get one relative that they barely see. They might just see just at Christmas every year just to get a gift, right? That's a want. People don't necessarily need wants. That's extra. And especially with everything going on, if you have a business that people will always come back to, boom. Like even if this recession becomes a depression, there are certain things that people are always going to need, like feminine care products. If you in a business doing with anything with feminine care, you not having a depression. It shows you going to save money. At that point, your biggest issue is just marketing what you have, because once people buy it and it's a good product, they constantly buy it. But that's a need, right? The hair care industry. People need to cut their hair. They need to keep their hair clean. Like anything body, anything that deals with personal care, that's a need. Yeah, you do have a few people who ain't going to take care of that need, but 99.9% of the population will. So you want to have a good product there. You want to create a business that fulfills that need, right? And then you can even expand that to certain artistic things, right? Like even though people have a need to do something that affects their heart, that affects their emotions, though it's not as strong as like their body, they still have a need for it. It's not as strong a need, but it's still a need. So if you have a business there, like really affecting people's emotions, like if you look at, despite everything going on, you got more apps, channels, everything with entertainment. There's a need for entertainment. It's not as great as your need to for some good soap to wash your face, but people need that. But that's more on an emotional thing, right? Or I'm gonna be honest, a lot of churches have become businesses. A lot of churches. and they stay filled. But that's a need. That's a spiritual need, right? So when you think in terms of what business that you want to start or what business you are interested in starting, first think about what is the need? What do people need? And then how can you fulfill it? Indeed, in Dennis Kimbrough, who wrote, Think and Grow Rich, A Black Choice, he had talked about that. He had talked about that in the book. It was like, find what people need and fulfill that need. You'll make money. And it should be a simple concept, but it's not. It's not. Because ultimately, you got to do something that people need in that service. Like, you got a lot of businesses who are going out, not necessarily even because they weren't online, but they didn't have something that people needed. Like a lot of clothing businesses. Like in my local mall, that mall's half empty. That mall is half empty, including a big space that included a Sears. And that space was, I didn't realize it was that big until I saw it empty. Right? That's a big, huge space. Right? But people didn't need the clothing or what they had there as much. If you find another place to like get your products or wherever, and you're a store that sold certain things, it didn't fulfill the need to the extent that it needed to fulfill the need. Like during this time, people don't need the clothing as much, but they do need like all the cleaning products. That's a need. That's why these companies that make wipes or stuff to clean or masks and stuff like that, they loving this time. Or if you look at something like Zoom or any online platform that allow videos and everything, like video conferencing on anything, that's a need. I mean, these guys making money like crazy. Or something like Amazon. Since people ordering online or something, that's a need. Or people who deliver food, that's a need. Always understand that. So if you have a business that fulfills a need, you are on the path to making money. At that point, it's just a matter of how good your product or service is, how well you perform customer service, and, just staying in that. So understand that. Always create a business to fulfill a need. So y'all know the deal. Let's go make that money.